In this video, we're going to build this powerful n8n automation that generates motion graphics automatically on demand. It is a completely automated process where all you have to do is fill out this form once with the raw idea that you have in mind. You can type it out here in plain English, attach a reference image, and then click on submit. Then you can forget it for a couple of minutes, and then the generated motion graphic video is going to land directly into your Google Drive folder. From there, you can access it, you can view it, you can download it, share it, do whatever you want. It is set up in a way where no creative direction is needed. You can just give it plain instructions and that is sufficient. You don't have to tell it when to zoom, when to transition, nothing like that. The other cool thing is you can add custom instructions to it, which will be followed not just once, but every single time the motion graphic video is generated. And that is going to help you maintain consistency so that the different motion graphics that you generate seem like they're coming from the same editor. And once the custom instructions are in place, you wouldn't have to waste money on repeated refinements. Even if you want to generate multiple videos in a short duration, you wouldn't have to wait, you wouldn't face any such limits, and also there are no strict API limits. The other thing you will have in mind is, why can't I just go into Gemini and drop my image, drop my instruction and get the video? Firstly, the results are going to vary. So in our n8n automation, there are three key things. The first is this AI agent which is going to act as the creative director. The other thing is, instead of generating the video directly, we're going to first generate the start frame. Then we're going to generate the end frame. And using those, the final video would be generated. Now, how does that make a difference? That makes the motion graphic look really smooth and doesn't make the video look odd because it already has a starting point and an ending point. So yeah, that's the key difference. But if you still go with this, then you'll have to write very detailed prompts here. You'll have to be good at prompt engineering to get good videos out of this. And the last thing is the rate limit. So even if you're on the pro plan, if you generate a couple of videos, it stops you and it asks you to retry a couple of hours later. And that is why we're going to be building this automation. Now for the video generation part, we're going to be using Gemini's Veo3.1 model. And for the image generation, that is for the start frame and the end frame, we're going to be using Nano Banana Pro, and that too their Edit Ultra model. So if you're ready, let's get started and let me show you how you can build this out step by step. And yes, before we move forward, a quick introduction about myself. My name is Yashica Jain. I'm an AI automation expert. I run my own agency called Automate AI. So if there's anyone who's interested in getting their business process automated using AI, then I would highly recommend you check out the link to our website, which is in the description below. If anyone's looking for AI consultation, then you'll find the link to my calendar in the description. You can go ahead and book a one-on-one slot with me. If you want to continue learning in the AI and automation space, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So as I said, this automation is going to be built on n8n. It is a no-code automation platform where you can build these cool automations without having to code. So if you already have an account, great, log in. If you don't, then you'll find the link to n8n in the description. You can use that link to create your account. And once everything is set, simply create a new workflow. The first thing we have to do is add a trigger. Now you have multiple options, but we're going to go with form submission because we want to give it the animation description like what we're looking for along with the reference image. So I think instead of a chat or like any other trigger, this is going to suit our use case the best. So yeah, let's quickly build out our form. So let's call it the motion graphic generator. Let's put the description. Now we have to add the questions. So the first is going to be obviously the animation description. It is going to be a required field. And for the placeholder, let me type keep it raw. All right. And one more element means one more question of the form is going to be the reference image. The element type is going to be a file, and we would just accept one file, which is either going to be a PNG or a JPG. And again, it is a required field. For example, you have the image of an app's UI that you want to then convert into a motion graphic video, or else you have a logo that you want to, turn into a motion graphic video, or maybe, just an image in itself. So that is what you're going to drop here, and it's going to use it as a reference to then generate the final video. All of this looks good, and then simply click on execute. That is going to open it up in a new tab. Now we will have to fill it out once so that we get the inputs inside n8n. For example, I'm using this app's UI as the reference image. I just used ChatGPT to generate the reference image for me because I didn't really have a real one. And for the description, I've said that convert it into a motion graphic video that highlights the app. Then I've asked it to animate the background flight icons so that they actually fly. So that is all that we're going to say, and now let's submit this. Alright, we got it here inside n8n. And then let's add an AI agent which is going to act as our creative director. So this one is going to decide how the start frame is going to look like and how the end frame is going to look like. Firstly, let's add the system message which is going to tell it what it's supposed to do and how it is supposed to do that. So let's go to expression, let's open it up. Now, since it's a big prompt, I already have written it for you and you can grab it from the resources which would be linked in the description. So this prompt is basically telling it to generate two different image prompts. The first is for the start frame. The image must look incomplete, as if the video is just starting. It is the first second of the video, the first clip of the video. And then the end frame must be such that the video is completed, everything is done, and the main subject must clearly dominate the frame. And both of these prompts are written for Nano Banana Pro, and that too the Edit Ultra model. And the reason why we're choosing the edit model is because we want to take the reference image as the reference and then edit it so that it becomes the start frame. And then we will be using the start frame as the reference for the end frame. So in both cases, they're basically already taking an image and editing it to make it match the start frame as well as the end frame. And then we need to give it the user message. So simply select define below. And here we're going to tell it what the user gave. So firstly, the user gave the animation description. So let's say user's animation description. And from the schema, we can just drag and drop it here. As you can see, it is like showing it right here. And the other thing is that the AI agent can't really see. Okay, so it does not have eyes of its own. But I would still want it to look into the reference image that the user has uploaded. Because without looking into the reference image, it is very difficult to predict the start frame, the end frame, and all of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to use OpenAI's Analyze Image node, which is going to basically take this image and give us a text description of what is there in this image. So for the model, let's go with GPT-4o. For the text input, let's say visually describe what you see in the image. And for passing on the image, let's pass it as a URL instead of a binary file because we will need this URL later on as well. And to obtain a URL, let's take Google Drive's help. So we're going to upload this image that the user uploaded to Google Drive, and that is going to get us the link of the image that we will then use inside OpenAI. Firstly, the input data field name, which is nothing else but this name right here. In this case, it is reference image. Then we have to add the file name. So this file name would be reflected inside Google Drive. So let's just take the file name of the file that the user uploaded. Then we need to select the folder. So in these cases, what I do is I create like a trash folder where all these files are uploaded and we use the links. And then in about 15 to 30 days, I just, clear out that folder so that it's not taking a lot of space in my drive. So if you don't have one, you can just create it. I have one, it's called trash. And now if I execute this, it's going to be uploaded to that trash folder. And here I have the link that I can use throughout the automation. So basically we got an image URL for the image that the user uploaded. Now right here we can easily, put the web content link, which is the link of the image. And now if you execute it, you will get the response. So let's go to table. And as you can see, it is saying that the image shows a modern, clean, visually appealing mobile flight booking app interface. And then it's giving all the different details, like everything that could be seen in the image. And now if I come back to my AI agent, I can easily give it the reference image text description, like how the image really looks like, but in text format. And there we go. Now this one turned red, so we will have to remap this. It's because we added a couple of nodes in the beginning. So user's animation description is coming from the form. And let's drag and drop it again. So now if you open it up, here you can see the input that we are passing to the AI agent. Now, since we need a JSON from the AI agent, which is the start frame and the end frame together, we are going to require a specific output format. And from here, we're gonna just add a structured output parser, and we're gonna mention an example of how the output should look like. So firstly, there should be the start frame, and secondly, there should be the end frame. Basically, the prompts for both of these. Alright, let's do this as well. Then we need to connect the chat model, so I'm just gonna go with OpenAI. For the model, I'm going to go with their flagship, like right now it's 5.2, so let's go with that, and let's save it. So now if I run the AI agent, it should give us the two prompts for the start frame and the end frame image. So there we go, we got it. So the first one is edit the existing image. The existing image in this case is the image that the user uploaded. Edit the existing image to look like an early inactive app mockup. Keep both the phone screens at their current size and position, but reduce their visual dominance by lowering saturation to 60% and adding a light gray overlay at 20% opacity. So it's mentioning like everything, the saturation, the colors, everything. And based on this, both of these images would be created. So now let's do that. So I would like to take a quick moment to introduce today's sponsor, which is Atlas Cloud. Atlas Cloud is the world's first full model inference platform designed for developers. Through just one unified API, one can access most of the AI models out there for chat, for reasoning, for image generation, for audio generation, as well as for video generation. So you'll find the link to Atlas Cloud in the description. Go ahead and create an account with them. And now let's head over to their console. Alright, so we will come back to this just in a moment, and before that, let us select the model we want to use. So let's go to image and video models. From here, let me go to image because I want to edit an image, and let me filter by Google. And right here, you can see the model Nano Banana Pro Edit Ultra. Simply click on this. This is the one we're going with. I'm going to go to API, and then let's select curl. Okay, so now this API call has two steps. The first one starts the image generation and the second one checks for the result. So first, let's set up this one. So we are going to copy all of this, take it to n8n. Let's add an HTTP request module here and then simply click on import curl. Now right here, you can paste what we just now copied and simply click on import. And as you can see, everything has been filled out. Now we have to go ahead and add our API keys. We are going to fetch it from Atlas Cloud and we're going to add it right here. So again, let's head back to the console. Here you will spot API keys. Click on manage, click on create. Let's give it a name. Let's call it n8n motion graphic. Okay, and it never expires. Create. And from here, you can simply copy it, go back and just replace this part with your API key. Now coming to the JSON, let's first click on expression. So the model looks good, the aspect ratio. Now let's set this up. So in Atlas, if you scroll down here, you will be able to see that you can select a wide variety of aspect ratios. Now 9:16 and 16:9 are the most popular ones. So let me go with the 16:9. So 16:9. Then enable base 64 output. We don't need it, so let it be false. Enable sync mode, we don't need it, so that is also false. For the image, we need to pass on the link to the image that is to be edited, which is nothing else but the image that the user uploaded. So we're going to fetch it from the Google Drive module. So right under the Google Drive module, you will spot the web content link. So just get rid of this and just drag and drop the web content link. As you can see, it is fulfilled here. Now the output format, PNG, all good. The prompt. Now the prompt is coming from the AI agent. So we are going to get rid of this example prompt and let's add the start frame. Resolution is 4K. Let's call it the start frame image generator. And now let's click on execute step. If you're seeing the code as 200 and the message as success, then congratulations, you've done the connection correctly. Next up, we need to wait for the image to be generated. Now it's up to you for how long you would like to wait, but I would generally wait for 45 seconds before checking the result. So let's add the value here. Let's click on execute. It's now going to make you wait for the next 45 seconds. In the meantime, let's save it. Let's also rename the workflow. So let's call it the motion graphic generator Veo3.1 and Nano Banana Pro Edit Ultra. So if you just mention it in the title, you will remember it in the long term. If you want, you can also add it to the description of the workflow. Alright, 45 seconds done. Now let's check for the result. So again, under API, we're gonna choose curl again. And this time we're gonna copy this curl, the one under step 2. And let's add another HTTP request. Let's import the curl. Make sure you add your API key here. And I think instead of just mapping the prediction ID, what we can do is we can directly mention this URL. So if you basically send a request to this URL, it's going to get you the result. Okay, so I just dragged and dropped it here. Now let me change the API key. And now let's click on execute. If you are seeing an output, then that means that the image has been generated. So let me just copy this link and let's quickly check the image it generated. So in a new tab, just paste it and the image should be shown. Okay, so this is the first frame of the video. So as you can see, this is like grayed out and it is very much in the beginning stage of the video. And let me call it get start frame. Now this time we got the image, but it doesn't mean that each time we will get it exactly 45 seconds later. So that is why we need to have an if-else condition that if the image is not ready, it should wait for another 45 seconds. So let's say that the output exists. So if it does exist, then that means that it has been completed. But if it does not exist, which is false, it should wait again and then get the frame, check for the image one more time. And this loop continues until and unless we get the image. Now, if it is complete, we would then want to generate the end frame image. So just to save time, I'm just going to duplicate this part here, connect it here. Instead of start frame, we're going to call it end frame generator. This all remains the same. The only thing that changes is in the JSON. Oh wait, before that we will have to run the if module. So go back to the if module and just run it one more time. So it's gonna run this entire chain. Okay, this is complete now. Going back here and going to the JSON. So we're gonna make two changes here. First is to the images. So the last time we had passed the image that the user had uploaded, but this time we're gonna pass the image that was generated just now, which is the start frame. So just drag and drop the output here. You'll see the link right here. And then for the prompt, it's going to come from the AI agent, the end frame. Just drag and drop it right here. So this time, instead of editing the image that the user gave, it's going to edit the start frame so that it matches the end frame. There we go. Let's execute this. And the process has started. Then we have another wait module. Then we have the get frame. Instead of start, let's put it as end. So this is going to get the image. And then comes the if node, which is this one. So let me just run the if one directly so that it runs the other three as well. So execute. And now it's going to run this entire chain right here. Alright, this has completed. So let's go ahead and check the image it generated. So again, I'm going to copy this link. Put it in a new tab. Okay, so this is how the end image looks like. Okay, so it's kind of in motion. Now our job is to generate the video using both of these images. So let's add another AI agent which is going to write the prompt for the video. So let's add the system message here. So basically, we have told it you are an expert cinematic video prompt engineer for Google's Veo 3.1. Your task is to generate one video generation prompt that creates a short, coherent, visually progressive video. Then we are telling it the inputs it's gonna get, the rules, the intent, what is allowed, what is not allowed, the language, the rules, all of that, okay? And then let's add the user message. So in the user message, I would basically pass in the user's description, animation description, which is going to come from the form. And let's also pass in the start image prompt so that it knows how the beginning and the end of the video is looking like. So the start frame. So basically in text format, it would tell it what the start frame is looking like. And the end image prompt. So let's also add the word frame, okay, that helps. Okay, and now let's add a chat model for this one. For the model, let's select 5.2, save, and let's run it. Okay, here's the prompt. So it's a pretty big prompt and it's like telling it everything. like slowly push the camera in with gentle parallax so the phones separate in depth. I mean, yeah, pretty detailed. Okay. And now all we have to do is just generate the video. So going back here, this time we're gonna select the model as Veo 3.1. And out of these, we are going to choose the image to video one because we still want to pass in the start frame as well as the end frame. You can have a look at the quality of videos it generates. So same process, we're going to copy this part. We're going to add an HTTP request, import it right here, change the API key. Then in the JSON, the model looks good, the aspect ratio is correct. Make sure this aspect ratio matches the aspect ratio of the images, okay? Here you can change the duration. Generate audio, you can choose if you want to generate audio or not. And then here, we can put the images link, for example, the start image and the end image. So let's do that. So for the image, it's coming from get start image, which is outputs 0. And for the last image, it is coming from the get end frame. And there we go. So both of them added. Negative prompt we don't want, we can delete that. But yes, for the prompt, we want the AI agents prompt, which is this one. These ones we don't want to change. And let's rename it as video generation. And now let's click on execute. So the process has been initiated. As you can see, code is 200. The rest of the process remains the same, which is you have to wait, you have to then get it again, the same thing continues. So I'm just going to copy these 3 and put it right here. Let's connect it here. But yes, one key change is that for a video, we need to wait for a couple of minutes. So let's do 2 minutes, okay? Then instead of get end frame, we can call it get video. This all remains the same and this part also remains the same. So now I'm going to go to the if one and I'm going to execute so that all 3 run together. Now it's going to make you wait for 2 minutes. In the meantime, let's add the remaining modules. So once the video is generated, we want to upload it to Google Drive, right? So we're going to select upload file here. Okay, let's just wait for the previous nodes to be executed before we fill this out. Alright, so this has been completed. Let's quickly complete the Google Drive one. Oh, so this one needs it as like a base 64 file. So let's just add another HTTP request. And we just have to send a request to this video's URL without any other parameter. And that should return the data of that file, the base 64 data. And now if we go back here, we just have to make sure both of these names match. Next up, the file name, let me just call it motion graphics video. And then you have to choose the folder where you want these files to be uploaded. Alright, so folder selected. Now let's click on execute. And that is done. The automation is complete. Now let's go ahead and check the video it generated. So the Google Drive one is going to take a little bit of time to do the processing on the back end. If you want to view it a little quicker, what you can do is inside get video, you can copy this URL, the outputs URL, and check out the video. So it basically downloads the video. Now let's view it. It's an 8-second long video. Alright, the motion was clean, it was smooth, everything looked good, the text was all good. I think 8 seconds was a little longer for this video. So if you see it here, I think 4 seconds would have been okay because it just added these extra steps. So if you feel like 8 seconds is a little longer for your videos, you can go ahead and reduce the duration in the HTTP request module. But apart from that, this looks pretty clean and pretty smooth. By the way, it also has like a background sound. I don't know if you can hear it. Not a big fan of it, but yeah. So if you see here, the duration can be like 8 seconds, 4 seconds, or 6 seconds. So you can choose whichever you want to go with. And then under video generation here, you can change the durations. And while that is being generated, make sure that your Atlas Cloud wallet has balance in it. And here you can also see a breakdown of the cost, like how much you spent on which video or which image. So obviously these video models are priced per second. So the lesser the duration, the lesser the cost. So just in case you want to optimize for cost, then you can have a look at 6 seconds as like the duration of your video. Alright, so the setup is complete, the automation is complete. Now in the very beginning, I mentioned something about the custom instructions. So I said that you can add instructions such that every time the video is generated, those are followed regardless of if you mention it in the prompt or not. So if you want to add those, you'll have to head over to the system message of both the AI agents and add it. So for the first AI agent which generates the images, you can give it more of start frame, end frame related custom instructions. And if you want to give it instructions regarding how the video should be, how should it flow, how should it zoom in, stuff like that, then you can add it to the second AI agent's prompt. Now all the prompts that I have used throughout the video that I've copy pasted, you'll find it in the resources linked in the description. But I want you to use it as a baseline and then improve over it so that the videos turn out exactly how you want them to be. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed and you were able to learn something new and build something new. If that was the case, don't forget to like the video, do subscribe to the channel, and make sure to leave your valuable comment. If there's anything else you want me to cover in the future, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. If you want to work with us and get your business automated with AI, then don't forget to check out the link to our website in the description. If you want to get on a one-on-one call with me, then you can check out the link to my consultation calendar again in the description. The resources would be in the description, and if you want to connect with me personally, you can send me a connection request on LinkedIn. Again, link in the description. So yeah, that's it for this video. I will meet you in the next one. Till then, bye!